we have this huge, massive tree. Now, Carlos, if you could just come down here and just show the fact that this is the top of the tree, the whole top of the tree. And would you believe that it actually snapped from the top of that trunk right there? Luckily, it did miss the homeowner's house, and I did see the homeowner earlier, and he was out here trying to clean up some of the debris. Now, I did find one of the neighbors out here. Her name is Mindy Miller. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Now, I do want to mention how I did see some people on our Facebook page stating who they'll vote for and who they want, but I do want to stress that this is a caucus, meaning that members of the GOP will come together and vote on who they believe will best fit this spot. Guys, at the beginning of the show, we were at the gas station Phillips that's located on Pettit in South Calhoun. While I was there, one of the officers did tell me that that is actually where the victim drove after being shot at this location.
Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog, press back. Yes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, empty. Look forward, walk your feet to your hands.
Okay.
Halfway lift again. Bow. Rise all the way up.
Okay.
And take us home.
Okay. All right, yeah, so clearly I need to work on my form, but yeah. If you could believe it or not, people are actually going to be plunging into this freezing cold water. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's about 28 degrees right now, and when I try to measure the temperature here right now, the water is about 33 degrees. So we are on Main Street right now, directly across the street from the One Source Center. Now, this is where protesters ran after the tear gas was thrown at the intersection of Clinton and Main. Now, I am here with Madison. She was actually there at particularly like ground zero of where the tear gas was thrown. Crews are currently on the scene, and they're trying to restore the power here in Indian Village. Now, residents did tell me that they lost power around 7 o'clock last night. Now, if you take a look over here, you will see this huge, massive tree that actually fell on a power line. Crews did tell me they believe this is what caused the outage, and right now they're trying to restore the power. Now, the council called this meeting because they want more insight on exactly what caused the cancellation of RTM Ventures' $62 million public funding. I'm telling you, I cannot wait to indulge into this. It might not be the healthiest, but hey, say goodbye to my waistline. Okay, guys, I don't believe I'm on Katniss Everdeen's level yet, but I do plan on practicing. It's actually clearing up right now, but around 4 o'clock this morning, this was filled with family members and police trying to figure out exactly what happened. They did confirm that the person is still alive. It's life-threatening, but it's not fatal at this time. They've been driving by, honking their horns with their fists in the air to show support. One driver actually pulled over and gave the protesters pizza.
Turn it on up. Good. Engaging onto the bar. Very nice.
Officials tell me that this pandemic is expected to get worse before it gets better. However, the public should not worry because the medical community is working hard to overcome this virus. Now, I asked Rita how is she feeling after all of this, and she told me she feels joy. She says she chose joy because joy is everlasting, and she is blessed to still be here.
I never thought my life would be like this. You know, I'm an independent person.
On March 17th, Rita Earn was experiencing cold-like symptoms and later developed a fever that continued to linger.
And I was tested for the influenza and for COVID, and the influenza test came back negative, but they said it could be a week before I got the COVID test back.
It didn't take a week. 2 days later, her doctor called her to let her know that she in fact tested positive for COVID-19, but that was only the beginning. During her self-quarantine, she started having difficulties breathing and was rushed to the hospital.
I did code and flatline when I got to the hospital. My heart stopped for a minute and a half. I did develop a blood clot, and they went in to remove the clot. They were successful with that, but my foot apparently went septic.
Rita is a widow, and her only child had to make the tough decision to have her foot amputated.
Never hold that against her. She was a little bit afraid that I would be upset.
During this time, Rita is usually looking forward to going to a local winery, enjoying a live band, dancing with friends, or having a family cookout. But now she is back at her childhood home that's tucked away on a countryside road in Woodburn, surrounded by her support system, her family.
Somebody had to take care of her. Like, it wasn't, there was no option to say, oh, I'm afraid, like, what if we get the virus? There's just not an option.
Rita says she believes God had her beat COVID-19, and he's keeping her alive for a reason.
I feel like I need to really do something with my life because I still have it. And I just thank God for that.
We need coins. Paying the smallest bill possible. Signs like these are popping up at gas stations and grocery stores in our area. Why? Because the Federal Reserve is capping coin orders.
And our ability to purchase coins from the Fed on a weekly basis has been significantly impacted.
Wallace couldn't give us an exact percentage of the decline of purchasing coins for Star Bank, so Wayne 15 reached out to the source, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve declined to do an on-camera interview, but a spokesperson told us that as of April 2020, the total value of coin in circulation is $47 billion, a small increase from April 2019. While there is an ample amount of coin, the slow pace of circulation is causing coin not to be available where it's needed.
The other way that banks are able to supply themselves with coins is just a normal flow of business transactions and customer transactions, which we know with individuals staying home and not getting out as much, just the sheer volume of face-to-face transactions have been cut drastically over the last 3 months.
The Federal Reserve told us that throughout the pandemic, deposits of coin from businesses and coin recyclers have dropped by more than half. These deposits are a major source of inventory replenishment for circulation. The Fed also told us that the issuing authority for U.S. coin, U.S. Mint, reduced coin production to keep employees safe. Also, the reopening of businesses caused an increased demand.
It's really more going to impact our business customers that rely on change orders on a daily basis to, obviously provide change to their customers.
Not all banks in Fort Wayne are feeling much of an impact.
Honestly, I don't feel like our membership has had a huge impact by that. I'm not even sure that they're fully aware of everything that's going on.
You never know when it's a caucus vote, but I've been involved in politics for a while now, operating pretty much in the shadows.
In the shadows no more. Spur is now the new representative of the 4th District for Allen County's council.
Those of you who know me know that I have been a lifelong Republican with a solid voting record. I have never wavered.
Relieved, ecstatic, and a great deal of appreciation is how he described his feelings after winning the seat.
All of the candidates were extremely well qualified. Allen County would have been well served by any of them.
A small business owner and a constitutional conservative with a focus on public safety and controlling the county's budget. He unsuccessfully ran for a caucus vote against Senator Justin Bush back in 2016 and unsuccessfully ran against Commissioner Richard Beck. However, tonight he proved that the third time is a charm. Spur faced off against a devoted conservative and Air Force veteran Emory McClendon.
I support the candidate that won, and I think that it was a good choice, and we'll move on. I'll continue to work in this community.
And Elizabeth Underwood, the candidate that was handpicked by Allen County's GOP's chairman, Steve Shine.
I am who I am, and I will allow my record to speak for itself and the statements that I've made and the core conservative values that I was raised with.
The first round was interesting, ending in a three-way tie. The second round, McClendon was scratched from the ballot after racking in the lowest number of votes. In the third and final round, it was Spur taking the victory and collecting 11 votes to Underwood's 7.
We had 3 very qualified candidates. Any one of them would have represented the 4th District on County Council well, and I'm very happy with the way things turned out. I think